TruStudio from TruEmbroidery software for Mac. Demo 1. Personalize your embroidery. Loading an embroidery is as simple as selecting an icon in the clean, uncluttered look of the TruStudio window. Simply click the Design Viewer icon and you'll open a floating window. You can adjust the file viewer to show as many or as few embroideries as you wish, and you can use gestures to scroll through and view all the embroideries in a single folder. Click to select the embroidery from one of the over 700 included, and now you're ready to begin designing. Is your embroidery too large or too small? When you select Resize, the corners turn blue, and you can drag and adjust the design larger or smaller, and the stitch density will be recalculated automatically so the stitches are correct for the design size you choose. Let's add a little emphasis to our flower. To do so, we'll open the control panel, again a floating menu, and we'd like to center this design in the hoop before we start adding elements. Maybe we'd like a little different slant on our embroidery. In the Modify Design window, we can adjust the size precisely in height or width, and we can also select the Rotate slider handle and change to a new angle, or we could type the angle in as well. Decide that angle is not for you. Select Modify Design again. Change the angle back to 0 because the original angle is remembered for you. So let's tell a little story. In the control panel, select the Letter tab, and in the letters we have 15 font collections for over 100 different fonts. We'll choose the font we want to use, and we can type in the design size. Click in the letters box and type your words. And you can even add additional lines of letters. We'll make our line type circle so that it will create the 2 lines of letters above and below the design. And we're going to click Apply, and the letters will fit themselves automatically to the design. Maybe we'd like to change the thread color on our letters to make everything blend better. In the Design tab, we can color sort to reduce the individual letters into one color change, and then click to select the threads and choose our personal thread manufacturers from over 16,000 threads in 33 manufacturers. I can simply click on a new thread color, or a Mac feature, I can open the colors box and click and choose a color in the range close to what I would like my letters to be. The thread is pre-selected for me, and I can say OK, and now my letters fit the rest of my embroidery. Let's add a little more style to this as well. In the frames, we can choose from 500 different frame styles, and in the collection you'll see we have corners, flourishes, frames, and side pieces. From the frames we can choose one of the many different sets. Select the frame that we would like to surround our selected letters, and we're going to add a 5mm margin and create our stitches. Now we have a frame, but I think one more element would finish this off nicely, and that's a border around the outside edge. We can choose very quickly from the Super Designs, and in the Super Designs we have 22 categories and more than 500 super designs, divided up into different sets, and we simply select an element change the size if need be, and apply to make our little element appear in the work area. But one element is not going to surround the entire embroidery, so in the control panel we can select Encore, Encore to the hoop, put a little space around the outside edge, preview to see how our element will look, and if we like the look we just click Apply, and our Encore has become a border around the outside edge of the hoop. We'd like to change the color, so we'll go back to the design window, click the thread color change, and select the color we prefer. And now this design is exactly what I would like it to be. But I'd like to see how this looks when it's stitched on my project. And we have the ability to hide the hoop and to select and load a background. Our background can be made from a digital photograph that we've taken with our own camera of the project that we're stitching, or it can be a previously saved background from the software itself. We'll use one of the backgrounds that comes in the software already to see how this would look on an apron. And I like the design, but I think I would like it higher on the apron. So to be able to preview this where I would like to see it on my apron, I just click Move, click and drag the background until it is placed on the apron where I like, and end my move. Now I can see my design ready to stitch on my apron, adjust my view so that I can see the big picture, and I'm ready to save this. But I think I'd like to see how this stitches out. So we can choose the player, and the player window will open. We can go all the way to the beginning of the design, click fast forward, and it will show us the stitch out. And the more times we click fast forward, the faster the design stitches on the screen, so that we can see how all of those elements will stitch in our embroidery hoop. When we're done playing, we can save with File and Save, and that's going to save the design as a multi-part BP3, which will allow us to reopen it, select any individual part of the design, and change to a different look, new frame, new words. We can also go to File and select Export, and here we can flatten the design, combining the elements, removing any overlapping areas, and we can save this in all popular formats for all embroidery machines.